What's going on, guys? I've got another video today for y'all at the request of a lot of subscribers. They would like to see a solo queue guide, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Just for some context, I am a one above all, mainly DPS player. I've been one above all for multiple seasons with like a peak of like 500 points into one above all, so I think I have a pretty decent understanding of the game. At least I would like to believe that. Y'all could be the judge. But I'm gonna kind of give y'all some tips on how I solo queue and how I ranked up, because trust me, I know how it feels because some of those ranks are just unbearable. But without further ado, let's get into it. So my first tip, honestly, would be to ban for yourself more so, especially if you don't join voice and all that stuff. Like, ban for yourself in the lower ranks, especially because you're the deciding factor in your games down there, if I'm being real. Like, until you get to, like, I'd say maybe GM Celestial, probably more so Celestial, you are the main factor of your game. Like, you can solo the game and just absolutely destroy everyone if you're good enough. And you technically can do that at the higher ranks too, but I would say ban for yourself or things you know your teammates won't be able to handle. Like, I know in low ranks, right, BP might be annoying. Now, I don't think you should ban BP in like high elo really, but in the lower elos it makes sense because, like, who's reacting to a BP down there, right? So just think about stuff like that, like banning characters you know you just struggle with or you just don't like to play against, and that'll help you rank up. So that's like my first tip. Tip number two I would do, honestly, is try to have one character in each role, but really try to get good at like two roles. I would say try to get good at two roles, and that really can help you out in terms of ranking up. Because, to be honest, if you only play like one role and then you get teammates that only play that role as well, it's like you kind of just lose. And I've lost plenty of games where no one plays support, and I had to eventually just figure out, hey, I'm just gonna have to learn support because it's not worth just losing a game just because you can't have a support. Like, it's kind of sucks. Or losing a game because you can't run two tanks. It sucks. So be that person that can fill those roles so you can kind of give yourself a higher chance of winning. But if I'm being real, you want to mainly try to lock DPS. You flex if you have to, but lock DPS. That's the carry role. DPS and tank. Those are the roles you carry on, if I'm being real. But that's tip number two. Tip number three in solo queue is understanding your positioning, right? If, like say you're on DPS, right? Because, I'm going to talk from a DPS standpoint because I mainly play DPS. But say you're on DPS, right? If you're like a poke character, you don't want to be positioned like in front of your tanks or like, way behind your supports. Like, you want to be like in between, like right behind your tanks and then like right in front of your supports. Like, you want them to be able to see you, have LOS of you the entire time, because there will be some situations where you will get some bad support sometimes. It is what it is. But to be honest, most DPS players could probably admit that they don't pay attention to where they are most of the time. I still don't. Even as a top 100 player, I don't do it myself sometimes. It'd be like that. But to be honest, positioning is one of the biggest ways you can impact the game, because if you're alive, you're outputting more and getting more value. So it just makes more sense to stay alive above everything else. So that's tip number three. Tip number four, I would say, is that, pick characters with carry potential, right? Like, don't play don't play Wanda and think you're gonna like server admin the game. Like, I'm sure you could in the lower ranks, maybe you can get away with it, but don't pick Wanda and then try to like play her in high elo if you don't actually, if you're not really like them. Now, I'm sure there's somebody out there who can play Wanda at high elo, and that person is just insane, honestly. But for the majority of people, you should probably be picking like Hela, Punisher, Bucky, Magic, Daredevil. Daredevil's really good this season, honestly. I'd pick good characters you can get value on without depending on other people. Like, as in solo queue, you gotta be able to do everything you need to do on your own, really. Now, if you get teammates to help you, that's a bonus. But that's not the expectation. You're in solo queue, you gotta understand that. So it's like, try to just pick main a character you don't need resources like that from, and you should climb a little bit higher. And then my fifth and final tip on how to really get your rank up, is this rule I have, right? Where if I lose 2 games in a row, I'm done for the session. Like, you gotta take a break, go outside, go do something else. Because if you keep playing after that second loss, I've had it happen to me plenty of times. You just keep losing and losing, and then your mental's just fried. There's just no point. If you lose 2 games in a row, just stop come back later. Go do something else. This has helped me so much climbing, to be honest. Like, some days you're just not gonna have your way in this game. You're just not. And then hopefully most of the time you can do whatever you want, but sometimes you're gonna have to just stop and take a break. So that's kind of my last tip on how to improve and, not tilt as much, because tilting is one thing that can really, really hurt you, especially if you're in voice. If you're in voice tilting, it just messes up the mental of your whole team, leads to people wanting to surrender. And, that's one of the main things of solo queue is like, one of the biggest win conditions is keeping a strong mental on your team. Because if your team just gives up, you just lose. It doesn't matter how good you are. So that would be my fifth and final tip on how to climb, really. Let me know what other kind of videos y'all want to see. I can make like a part 2 to this if that's what y'all want to see. But, we're close to 500 subs. It'd be very greatly appreciated if you like or drop a sub. Yeah, so that's basically it. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like or sub. I will catch y'all later. Goodbye.